Good evening, it's Monday, and tonight we're going to read James chapter 4. Warning against worldliness. What causes quarrels and what causes fights among you? Is it not this, that your passions... Hold on, let me make sure I'm reading this correctly. Is it not this, that your passions are at war within you? You desire and do not have, so you murder. You cover... That should be covet. You covet and cannot obtain, so you fight and quarrel. You do not have because you do not ask. You ask and do not receive because you ask wrongly, to spend it on your passions. You adulterous people, do you not know that friendship with the world is enmity with God? Therefore, whoever wishes to be a friend of the world makes himself an enemy of God. Or do you suppose it is to no purpose that the Scripture says he yearns jealously over the Spirit that he has made to dwell in us? But he gives more grace. Therefore, it says, God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. Submit yourselves therefore to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. Cleanse your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded. Be wretched and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning and your joy to gloom. Humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will exalt you. Do not speak evil against one another, brothers. The man who speaks against a brother or judges his brother speaks evil against the law and judges the law. But if you judge the law, you are not a doer of the law, but a judge. There is only one lawgiver and judge, he who is able to save and destroy. But who are you to judge your neighbor? Boasting about tomorrow. Come now, you who say, today or tomorrow, we will go into such and such a town and spend a year there and trade and make a profit. Yet you do not know what tomorrow will bring. What is your life? For you are a mist that appears for a little time and then vanishes. Now I have a note over here that says, how will I spend eternity? Am I behaving in a way that pleases God? And that's something we can all think about. But that was something that I thought about, and that's aimed directly at me. So you have to examine your heart, and I have to examine my heart. And we need to compare it to the heart of Jesus and the will of God to make sure that what we're doing is what he wants us to do, not what we think, not what we want. That's why up here it's talking about you ask wrongly because you want to spend it on things that you want to spend it on. There's nothing wrong with having money as long as you have it and it doesn't have you. Allow God to help you use the things he has given you to benefit his kingdom. Okay, I'm going to read that again. Yet you do not know what tomorrow will bring. What is your life? For you are a mist that appears for a little time and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we will live and do this or that. As it is, you boast in your arrogance. All such boasting is evil. So whoever knows the right thing to do and fails to do it, for him it is sin. Now, I will tell y'all about a young lady. I think I've mentioned this before, but it bears repeating. When I was working at Troy University, we had student workers that would come in. It was part of their, I guess you'd say, scholarship. That they had to give so many hours a week to the university. And so they would assign them to different departments. And we had a real sweet young lady that was one of our student workers. And I think we were probably on lunch break. We had all gone to get something to eat, and we're sitting in the office eating. And she was in there working because it was not her lunch break. And we were talking about some show that we watched. And we asked her, had she seen it? And she turned around and she said, she asked what we said, and we told her again, and she said, "Oh, I don't watch television." I said, "Oh." I said, "Do you mind if I ask why?" And she said, "No." She said, "I feel like the Lord told me not to." She said, "I'm not saying it's a sin for anybody else, but it's a sin for me to watch TV because I get so caught up in that I can't, that I'm not spending the time in my Bible and prayer that I should." And I thought, boy, now if that don't get your attention, she wasn't saying it was a sin for anybody else. She was saying that she knew it was wrong for her, and if she did it, it would be a sin. And I think each of us knows there are some things that we personally, that we personally, it's a sin to us. It can be fine for everybody else, but it's a sin to us. And we know if we've got any kind of relationship with God, we know what that is, or as we go along, we will know. And, it can be all kinds of things. But she was, to be as young as she was, an early college student, she was very on the nose with what the Lord was leading her to do, and I was glad to see that. I've thought about that a lot of times. So anyway, that was just another short chapter. Thank y'all for joining me again. My plans are to be back tomorrow night, but I hope y'all have a good evening. I hope you had a good day today, and I hope you spend it like you should have. Excuse me. Good gracious, excuse me. I hope you have a good day tomorrow, and we will see you tomorrow night.